Awesome. Hello. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for talking to me, Dan.
I know. Well, you look a little bit different than Chad right now. I'm like, is this the same person?
It is the same person in a fully, completely different situation with hair and makeup.
So how was that playing choosing to play Chad? Did you always envision yourself playing Chad? Or did you think someone else was going to do it when you created the character?
I always envisioned playing it. To me, that was what was so exciting about the show was the thought of having an adult who has some perspective and distance from those adolescent years to be playing the teenager at the center of a coming of age story. You know, I just thought you could push the comedy a lot further if you're watching an adult and you're not sitting there laughing at an actual Iranian child through some of these scenes.
It reminded me of the movie She's the Man with Amanda Bynes. And I think what I liked so much about it, and talking to everyone that has seen the TV show, is that there's nothing else like it. There really hasn't been another TV show, and especially as a minority, something to be laughed, something that is hilarious, but also, pushing forward society and to see people on TV that traditionally haven't been on mainstream TV enough.
That's what's so cool about, you know, getting to be part of a time where voices from other backgrounds are getting a chance to be put on platforms like this. When I was growing up, I had never seen a half-hour comedy centered around a Middle Eastern family. And in fact, a lot of the representation of Middle Easterners that I did see was predominantly negative. And so that was really, alienating for me to see. And I I really wanted to create a Middle Eastern character for myself that was written from an empathetic place and looked like, not just Chad, but the family that surrounds him spoke to the experience I had growing up with Persian relatives. And it was really important to me to create a character that was funny and had nuances and flaws that were relatable, so that hopefully people see it. And even if you're not an immigrant kid, you can relate to him and see how much we actually all have in common.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they say, I think Oprah in particular has said that sometimes the best way to move a society forward is through humor and is through making people laugh.
I really believe that. Obviously, laughter is such a universal language, and um, it makes me so happy to hear when people of other cultures are like, oh my God, I could so relate to that. But also, even my American friends, everyone, most people did go to high school. Anyone that did can relate to this, I hope, and that we all remember what it was like to be a teenager and to just want to belong. Um, Certainly, like as an immigrant kid, you have this extra little obstacle to get through in your effort to fit in. But hopefully, anyone that sees the show can see Chad and at least either see themselves in him, or that maybe he reminds them of someone they went to school with.
I think they definitely will. And just before we go, what is it that you hope people get from the show? Obviously, they're going to laugh because it is funny, but what is it you hope people get from it when they watch?
Um, you know, like I mentioned, I hope people see it. And he is such a ridiculous character in so many ways. I did set out to make a comedy. That was a goal of mine. So if it does make people laugh, I feel like we accomplished our mission in that regard. And hopefully people can also empathize with him and relate to him, even if most people watching the show probably won't be Persian American. So if you can find common ground there, and if you can relate to a character that maybe on paper doesn't necessarily seem like you, um, that would be amazing too, especially because we haven't seen that, certainly with my community, in TV and film that much over the last 10, 20 years. The representation hasn't been um, necessarily positive, let alone funny, So I'm excited that the show can even exist. I don't know that it could have 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for everyone to watch, and congratulations. You did an incredible job and you're so funny.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
Of course. And good luck with the rest of your interviews.
Thank you so much. Okay, have a great rest of your day.
Bye.